Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys are new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Andrea. I film videos all about cruelty-free beauty products, and I love to focus on drugstore and affordable makeup because I feel like there are so many good options from the drugstore and affordable brands. So normally at the beginning of the year, a lot of brands release new collections, new products. So I purchased a bunch of these at the end of December, the beginning of January, and I've been testing them out. I wanted to come back and share my final thoughts on them. I've used all of these products multiple times, so I can share pros and cons and let you guys know which products are worth checking out. I have 20 different products to talk about in today's video, so I have a lot of things to share. I'll break it down by brand. So let's jump into it and I'll start talking about the products. Okay, so let's start with e.l.f. e.l.f. has released a lot of products, including their new Cookies and Dreams collection, which I did a whole separate video on. So if you want to check that out, I'll link it below. But I have to say, I'm really enjoying this new primer. This is their Power Grip Primer. I have used this quite a bit. So I would say that it is somewhat similar to the Jelly Pop Primer, the Mint Melt Primer. So if you have either one of those, I wouldn't say you necessarily need to run out and grab this one, but this one is fragrance free, which I appreciate because the Jelly Pop and the Mint Melt are very strongly scented, which I personally don't mind, but I know a lot of people do prefer fragrance-free products, especially on their face. So I like that they made this one fragrance-free. This one retails for $10. It's definitely a good alternative to the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip. I would say that this one is maybe a little bit less sticky than the Jelly Pop and a little bit thinner than the Mint Melt. So it really is kind of like a combination of the two. It just smooths out your skin. It definitely feels hydrating and it makes your makeup last longer. It has a slightly tacky base, so it definitely locks your foundation into place, but it's not so tacky that your foundation is going to apply unevenly. I've really been enjoying it. I've been dealing with a little bit of dryness on my skin lately. My skin has also been breaking out, so I feel like it just helps my foundation to stay in place well, but it glides over those dry and breakout prone areas. So I definitely recommend checking this out if you do like those gripping type primers. e.l.f. also released 2 new additional bite-sized eyeshadow palettes. I've always enjoyed their bite-sized eyeshadow formula. I think that I pretty much have all of them. There were maybe 1 or 2 that didn't work out for me, but for the most part, I find the formula to be pretty consistent. I have to say this one is my new favorite. I already hit pan on one of the shadows because I have used it pretty much every single day. This one is in I Love You a Latte. So it just comes with 4 matte shadows. They're all neutrals. So typically I'll take this and use the first shade to set my eyeshadow primer or highlight my brow bone. I'll use the center 2 shades in the crease as a transition color, or just in the crease if I want more of a subtle look, and then the last shade in the outer corner, or sometimes I'll use it as liner. So this has been such a good little quad. I have used it so much this month and last month, and typically I'll just pair it with like a ColourPop Super Shock shadow. So I cannot get enough of this. I feel like it is such a good option for $3. We went out of town last week to visit some family, and I just brought this with me. I used it the entire time with like 1 or 2 Super Shock shadows. So it was perfect for travel. It's really nice for every day, and I've been enjoying this one a lot. They also released this one in Orange Dreamsicle, which comes with 4 kind of orangey toned neutrals. I think the quality of this one is fine, but I just don't find myself using this one quite as much. It's very, very light toned, so if you do prefer a very soft, subtle look, you might enjoy this, but I would say if your skin tone is a little bit deeper than mine, I think a lot of the shades would end up blending out and looking very similar on your skin. I think that they are pretty, but for me, it's just not something I reach for very often because I feel like this quad is lacking depth, whereas this one does have that dark brown to really deepen things up. All of the shades in here are very, very light. I've been testing out some different lip products from e.l.f. So they released quite a few. This isn't a brand new release, but I did try it out. It came out, I think, at the end of last year. It's their bite-sized lip balm in coconut. Unfortunately, I just didn't find this to be anything special. It wasn't extremely hydrating. After about an hour, I felt like it started to wear off, and it does have a hint of color. The color almost looked a little bit uneven on my lips. So I don't know. I feel like they have other options, like their lip balms that come in those squeezy tubes are great. The ones that have the heart-shaped center are really nice. Even though this is only a few dollars, I just felt like the formula was very, very underwhelming. It just wasn't my favorite out of all of the lip balms from them that I've tried. I definitely recommend some of the other ones. So for me, this was a fail. I don't recommend trying that out. I do really like their new lip liners. These are their Love Triangle Lip Filler Liners. I know that I have another one around here somewhere. I just can't seem to find it, but these are really nice. I really enjoy e.l.f.'s lip liner formulas as a whole. Whenever they release one, whether it's in this packaging or like the standard pencil packaging, I typically do like them. These are a little bit more more creamy than their pencil lip liners. They definitely lock your lipstick into place really well. I like the triangle shaped applicator. I feel like it's nice and easy to get more of a defined lip line. You can fill in your lips and wear this as a lipstick or apply a lipstick on top. And I think that these are a really great option. So I do plan on picking up a few more of these. I'm always looking for good lip liners, and I feel like the drugstore definitely has some good options, and these are going to be one of my favorites for sure. I would say there are pros and cons to their new glossy lip stains. Part of me really likes them, part of me is a little bit disappointed by them, but I think that I will continue to still wear them, just knowing that they're not going to last all day long. So initially they look good. When you apply them, you get this gorgeous glossy sheen, and they're really comfortable, super hydrating, and I have to say, even once that initial glossy layer wears off, they're still a lot more comfortable than other lip stains that I've tried. They don't dry out the lips, which is really nice, and honestly, once that glossy layer wears off, I typically like to reapply them just because I've really been into more of a glossy look lately. So I don't mind reapplying them, but I would say if you're looking for like all day wear out of a lip stain, which seems pretty typical, this probably won't be the formula for you. Even when I wear a matching lip liner underneath, I just find that it starts to fade a little bit after a few hours. And the darker one wears off and it's very, very obvious, really patchy, uneven. I would say you can kind of get away with the lighter ones for a little longer because as they wear off, it's not as noticeable. For me these days, I am looking for something a little bit more comfortable, so I'd rather reach for something like this over a traditional lip stain or over a matte liquid lipstick because I don't mind reapplying. They're just not going to last all day long. So I just wanted to share pros and cons with you. e.l.f. released a new mascara, and I feel like they've been revamping their mascara line over the past year. Last year, they released two different ones that I really, really enjoy. They have Lash It Loud, and then they also have Big Mood, and I like both of those. But in the past, I really didn't have very good luck with their other mascaras. I think they had like 6 to 8 at one point, and only the Keep It Curl mascara really worked well for me. So I've been excited to see them revamping the line, especially because the other two did work really well for me. This one is the Lash Beats Defining and Lengthening Mascara. So this one is really great if you are looking for long lashes. If you aren't really worried about volume, I think you'll enjoy this one because it does lengthen your lashes. It also defines them really, really well. So if you have problems with your lashes clumping together and you really want to separate them and lengthen them, I think you'll enjoy this formula. It really does a great job. I have pretty short lashes and I feel like this one does make my lashes look longer, but it doesn't add a lot of volume for me, and I'm typically looking for a mascara that does both. I would say it's almost a little bit more of a natural mascara, so if you're just looking for some good definition, a little bit of length, then you'll definitely enjoy this one. For me, it stays in place really well throughout the day. I just feel like it won't become my go-to formula because I need something to boost the volume as well. The last e.l.f. product I wanted to mention is their Daily Dew Stick, and I have a Cool Berry. They have a couple of different shades, and this is an interesting product. You know what it feels like? They used to have this like cooling moisture stick back in the day. I don't think it's still available on their website, but I loved it. I felt like it was such a nice product to use when I was dealing with a little bit of dryness because I would just be able to target those dry areas, and when I applied my makeup on top, it looked really nice. This feels like the exact same formula, but it has a hint of color. So I would say it definitely leaves your skin feeling refreshed, feeling really hydrated, but it's kind of marketed as a highlighter, and it is so subtle that it's almost non-existent. Whether you're using it on bare skin or on top of makeup, it doesn't really show up. Last year, they released their Jelly Pop Dew Stick, and that is one of the most beautiful stick highlighters I have ever seen. I love that one so, so much. So I was kind of hoping this would be somewhat similar, just maybe a little bit more subtle, but it's almost too subtle. I feel like I can layer it up. It doesn't really show up on my skin, and because it is such a hydrating product, I feel like it just erases all of my foundation when I apply it. I would say this is probably best on top of bare skin if you don't really wear foundation or you just wear something super light, like a really light tinted moisturizer, and you don't mind it kind of blending into that and almost erasing it just a little bit. One of you guys suggested that it might be a good alternative to like that Tula brightening eye balm, which I love, and I feel like this is a good alternative. It just doesn't give you such a glowy appearance. It's so subtle. It really does feel like that hydration stick that they used to have with just like a barely there hint of color. better. That being said, they do have other shades, so there might be another shade that works better. I just picked this one up because I thought it would work well for my skin tone. Okay, let's talk about NYX. NYX has been definitely a brand that I've enjoyed a lot over the past year. I think last year they released a lot of good high-end alternatives. A lot of their products were really on par with makeup trends, but they were just as good, if not better, than high-end products that are twice the price. Now, sometimes NYX can be a little bit more expensive compared to other drugstore brands, so I typically like to buy them at Ulta when they're on sale, but sometimes paying just a little bit more might be worth it if the quality is there. I've had such good luck with NYX brow products over the past year. They really do make some amazing options. The majority of them are under $10. I think this one is $11, but it is such a good option if you're looking for a tinted brow gel that will lock your brows into place. This is their Thick It Stick It Thickening Brow Mascara. I have the shade Espresso, and I love this product so much. The first time I used it on camera, and you could see my reaction. I just couldn't believe how good it made my brows look. So this gives your brows a good amount of color. So if you have very sparse brows, it's going to make them look full and dark. It does have fibers in it, so those fibers are going to kind of lock onto your brow hair and make your brows look very thick. And it builds really well, and you can build it instantly. Sometimes when it comes to these brow gels, you apply them, you have to let them dry before you go in with the second layer. This one is more of a dry formula, so you can just continue to build it on top of itself as you're doing your brows, and you don't have to wait for any dry time between, which is really nice. This really does such a good job at just giving my brows a very thick, full, voluminous appearance, pretty much better than any other brow gel that I've tried. I really like the e.l.f. Wow Brow. I also like the Persona Cosmetics brow gel. This one is very similar to those, but I feel like it's easier to build it up. I wish it was just a little bit smaller or a little bit thinner because I tend to make a little bit of a mess. So I will sometimes like apply this product outside of my brow on accident, and because it really is like a long wearing product, it can be a little bit difficult to remove once it dries down. I also really like this primer from NYX. This is their Plump Right Back Plumping Serum and Primer. So when I initially tried this, I knew that it was nice, but I wasn't sure that it was worth the $17 price tag because it's pretty pricey for a drugstore primer. I feel like in general, NYX does release a little bit more expensive primers. Their Marshmallow Primer was very similarly priced, and I enjoyed that one, but I enjoy this one more. The more that I use this, the more I enjoy it, and I feel like at the end of the day, my skin looks really good when I start my makeup off with this product. It's a really interesting texture. It's a little bit different than the e.l.f. primer, but it has a similar concept. It definitely gives your skin like a smooth, hydrated feel, and it has a slightly tacky base, not quite as tacky as this one, but it does kind of make your skin look a little bit more smooth than this product. It has a slight plumping aspect to it. It's not anything crazy. It's not going to fill in wrinkles or erase texture, but like I said, I've been dealing with some texture because my skin has been breaking out. I've been dealing with some dryness, and whenever I feel like I'm having just kind of like a lousy skin day, and you know, if I knew that I was going to apply makeup without a primer, it wouldn't look very good. I'll use this underneath, and it just makes my skin look so smooth, which I really appreciate it. So I'm really impressed by this product. I think it works extremely well, and like I said, my makeup looks good at the end of the day. I have to say, I don't recommend this gloss formula. This is called This Is Juice Gloss. I got Passion Fruit Snatch. I don't know, I had high hopes for this, but I just felt like it didn't do anything special. It didn't feel extremely glossy. It didn't look extremely glossy, and it wore away after like 20 minutes. Whenever I wear this product, I feel like I have to constantly reapply it, and I know that gloss isn't necessarily going to last all day by any means, but because it doesn't even look super glossy initially, it's not something that I feel like is worth reapplying throughout the day. My lips also feel a little bit dry after it wears away. So I'm just not really impressed by this. I thought it was going to be a little bit colorful, like just a hint of purple, but this looks clear on my lips. So I do recommend looking at swatches before you buy it. Some of the glosses are a little bit more colorful than other ones. I feel like maybe if it had a hint of color, I would like it a little bit more, but there are just so many clear glosses out there. e.l.f. has a $3 clear gloss that feels a lot better than this one and looks a lot more glossy on the lips. This one just feels very underwhelming as a whole. I wasn't really impressed by the formula, so I don't recommend picking this up. The last NYX product I want to mention is their Epic Smoke Angled Liner and Blender. So this is $11. It's a little bit more expensive than other pencil liners from the drugstore, and I feel, I don't know, like right down the middle about this product. I like it, but I also don't feel like it's special enough for me to purchase additional shades. The big claim behind this is that, you know, it has this brush on the end. You can smudge it out, you can move it around, you can use it as a base for eyeshadow. I don't really use this brush. I just feel like it's shaped it's a weird shape for an eyeliner brush. It's kind of rounded, so if you like smudge your eye with this, I feel like your eyeliner is going to look kind of messy. And if you're looking for more of like that smudged out grungy look, then you might enjoy this. But today I have on like a crayon, an eyeshadow crayon that I used as eyeliner, and to get this wing, I just used a Q-tip to sharpen it. And if I had used this brush, it wouldn't come out the same way. So I feel like they could have just put like a regular smudger brush on the end, and that would have been a little bit more ideal. But as for the actual eyeliner formula, it's really smooth, definitely creamy. I think it applies nicely on top of eyeshadow or directly on your eyelid as well. I like the angular shape of it. I feel like that is really nice because sometimes with pencil liners, they can kind of lose their point as you apply them. And the formula itself is really nice. But honestly, there are so many other eyeliners out there that I already own in my collection that I feel like do a great job. I can't imagine I'm going to buy a bunch of these. $11 seems a little bit expensive. I would say if they go on sale for like 40% off, I might buy an additional shade or two because they're super creamy and they do apply nicely. But I would say if you have like your go-to eyeliner formula, you don't need to run out and buy this. Okay, let's move on to Milani. Milani is killing it. I feel like their products have been so good, and I've just been impressed by the brand. So I'm excited to see what else they release in 2022. So on my eyes, I am wearing the Milani Gilded Flora eyeshadow palette. I have to say, I have definitely come to appreciate this eyeshadow formula. I used to be all about like super intensely pigmented eyeshadows. As soon as you apply them to the eyes, I wanted a ton of pigment, but Milani definitely makes more of a buildable formula. And I think a buildable formula can be a little bit easier to work with, especially if you're doing more of a dramatic look like I have on today. Today's look was supposed to be very subtle. I was just going to use 2 eyeshadows, but I just have so much fun when I use this palette that I feel like I keep going and all of a sudden I have like a pretty colorful look. So if you do like a good buildable formula, something that's really soft that you can gradually work up to be more dramatic, then I think you'll like their eyeshadow formula. I think it looks so pretty every single time I use it. I also love this color story. I think it is so much fun for the springtime. You get your staple neutrals, so you can do something a little bit softer, more natural, but you can also do something really vibrant and colorful like I have on today. So just for reference, I'm wearing this purple and then like this pink as transitions, this pink in the outer corner, and then these two and this color all over the lid. I've used it a bunch of times and I just find myself continuously reaching for this palette. Definitely more than I thought I was going to. When I first tried it, I felt like it was very powdery, and it is really powdery, but I've definitely come to appreciate that nice buildable formula because you can do something soft and subtle or something a little bit more dramatic. So if you're looking for a good colorful palette for spring, I think you'd have a lot of fun with this. I also really love these Gilded Flora shadow sticks. These are so pretty on the eyes. Now you can use them as all over shadow crayons if you're creating just like a one and done eyeshadow look, but I will say they do tend to crease on my lids. I think the e.l.f. shadow sticks seem to last a little bit longer when I'm using them as like an all over shadow stick. These crease a little bit more quickly because they are a little bit more creamy. So I actually really like using them as eyeliner. I have the deep purple one on my lash or on my eye today, and I winged it out as eyeliner and it went on so nicely. It just glides on the eye really a lot better than any other pencil liner that I've tried. So I think I'm going to purchase a few more of these. They are so creamy, and I would say if you have like extremely oily eyelids, this might kind of transfer to your eyelid throughout the day, but for me, they do stay in place really well as eyeliner. I used the lighter one on my waterline today, and I feel like it just gives the eyes a really pretty pop of color. I also grabbed their highly rated anti-gravity mascara, and I'm glad that I did because I had originally tried their I had tried their original highly rated mascara last year and it just didn't do anything for my lashes, but this one is a different story. I love this one. You get a little bit of like an hourglass shaped brush, but it just builds so nicely on itself. So you get a lot of volume, a lot of length. It's not a separating mascara like the e.l.f. mascara, but I do feel like it gives your lashes a lot of drama. If you're looking for dramatic lashes that have volume and length, this is going to be a great option for you. It's a very wet mascara, so I feel like it builds really nicely on top of itself, and I'm just really impressed by the quality of this one. It's definitely one of the best drugstore mascaras that I've tried in a long time. I've been using this one a lot more than my Essence Lash Princess mascara, the one that comes in the pink packaging that I've been using for like 6 months straight, because I feel like this one is almost a little bit more dramatic. So they're very, very similar. The brushes are different, but you get a very similar effect. And again, I don't experience any smudging or flaking throughout the day with this one. Let's talk about a few lip products. So on my lips today, I'm wearing a pretty dramatic lipstick. I have more of a dramatic look on today, obviously. It was meant to be more of a natural look, but I don't know, I was just feeling a lot of makeup today, I guess. So today I'm wearing their lipstick in the shade Dahlia. So last year they released that line of like nude matte lipsticks, which I really enjoyed. The formula is soft and smooth, and I feel like they went kind of viral on TikTok, as a lot of these products did. And then this year they released some different bold options. I decided to pick these up because I just miss wearing bold lipstick. I used to wear it all the time, and even these days I don't tend to wear bold lipstick out, but I feel like it's sometimes nice just to wear it around the house, if I have a Zoom call, if I'm filming a YouTube video. I don't know, it just kind of gives me like a confidence boost. I feel like it's something a little bit different than just wearing bold eyeshadow all the time. So I decided to try these, and I was also looking for a replacement for like my Urban Decay Vice lipstick. I think specifically in the shade Disturbed. I think that's the color. Urban Decay redid their Vice lipstick line, and I feel like I'm just missing like their Comfort Matte formula, and this is definitely a good alternative. This is a super comfortable matte formula. Also, it stays in place really well. I've been talking a ton, and typically when I'm wearing a bold lipstick, it will kind of bleed in the corners, and that's just not the case with this one. There's a little bit of movement over here, but it's not bad at all. It's a super lightweight formula that feels really nice to wear. These have a ton of pigment. Like, these are one swipe pigment lipsticks. So they're really beautiful. If you like bold lipsticks, I definitely recommend checking these out. If I was like out and about and wearing bold lipstick all the time, I would wear these over pretty much any other bold lipstick formula I have in my collection. The formula really is amazing, and the packaging is just gorgeous. I think that these are some of the best lipsticks that I've tried in years. I definitely recommend checking them out. So I definitely want to pick up additional shades. I have 2 of the nudes and then 2 of the bold shades. So I'll have to take a look again, because I do feel like this could become a staple lipstick line in my collection. They really are so good. I did pick up the Flora Tinted Lip Balm. I had tried this formula in the past, and I have to say I think it's good, but I don't think I'll end up wearing it quite as much as I originally thought I would. These days I tend to be a little bit more into a lip oil or a lip gloss, and then if I want color, I'll reach for an actual lipstick. This reminds me a lot of those e.l.f. lip balms, which again, I can't think of the name. I referenced them earlier, the lip balms that come in those squeezy tubes, but I would say this one is maybe a little bit more glossy, slightly a little bit more hydrating. So if you like those, but you want maybe just a little extra glossiness, then you might enjoy this. I just feel like these days when I'm wearing a glossy lip, I'd rather reach for like an actual lip gloss or a lip oil rather than something like this. But the actual formula is nice. You get a sheer wash of color. I think that it is a good option. I just don't tend to love this squeezy tube packaging very much these days either. And I don't know, I just thought I would end up wearing it more than I do. There's nothing wrong with the actual product, but when it comes down to personal preference, I'd rather reach for a lip oil or a lip gloss. So I just wanted to update you on this. And then the last Milani product I wanted to talk about is their Fruit Fetish lip oil. I have Strawberry Melon. I know that lip oils are having a big moment. A lot of drugstore brands are releasing their version of lip oils, and there are so many good options out there. I was actually just pulling all of the ones I own out because I want to film a TikTok on them, but this one is really nice. I would say that this one has more color than other lip oils that I've tried. It feels so good on the lips. It definitely leaves them feeling hydrated when you initially apply it, but even once it wears off. I feel like this formula is a little bit thicker than some of the other lip oil formulas that I've tried. Some are super thin. This one feels a little bit more hydrating. So if that's what you're looking for, like a hint of color and hydration out of your lip oil, I think you'll like this. It smells really good. I definitely want to try additional ones. So this is one of my favorite products too. Let me finish up with 2 different CoverGirl products. So I don't know if these products are brand new. When I purchased them from Ulta, I got them from the What's New section, and then they kind of disappeared from there, and then I think I found them on there again lately. So I don't know if you can find these at the actual drugstore or if they're just available online, but I'll link them in the description box if you guys are curious. So the first one is the CoverGirl Exhibitionist Lash Enhancing Liquid Eyeliner. I've been branching out and trying some different liquid liner formulas. I used to just strictly use the Urban Decay Perversion liquid liner, but obviously that one's a little bit more expensive, and I do find that there are good alternatives out there. I didn't used to like felt tip liners, but I feel like this one has me changing my mind because it glides on so easily. A lot of felt tip liners tend to drag across the eyelid, especially as I get older, and I feel like my eyelids are not as smooth as they used to be. I do find that that is a big issue, especially with felt tips, but this one glides on really easily. It is super dark and dramatic. It's a really intense black eyeliner. I do find that it bleeds a little bit in the inner corner, like right in here as I'm applying it. It tends to spread out, and I feel like because of that, my eyeliner usually ends up looking a little bit more dramatic than I was planning on. I won't say that it is completely smudge proof, but I don't have any issues with it bleeding throughout the day other than when I initially apply it. So if you're looking for a really dark, dramatic eyeliner from the drugstore, this is a nice option. I think that it does, or it is supposed to have like lash enhancing properties. It's supposed to be a little bit more conditioning. I don't notice a big difference in that area, but as far as like a dramatic liquid liner, this is a nice option. That being said, I don't like the CoverGirl Exhibitionist Stretch and Strengthen Mascara. I feel like they have a couple of different versions of their Exhibitionist mascara at this point. The original one is still my favorite. I also like the other one, which I can't think of the name. They have another Exhibitionist one, Exhibitionist Uncensored. I think that's what it is. That one is nice too, but this one just didn't do anything for me. I mean, even when you look at the mascara on the wand, it looks like a mess. It's very clumpy. It doesn't look even. So as you apply it to the lashes, I feel like it applies very unevenly. It doesn't build well on itself. It makes me look like I have 3 eyelashes, which some days I feel like I only have 3 eyelashes because they're not very dramatic at all. This makes them look worse. It clumps them together. They don't look voluminous. They don't look long. It's just like an overly wet mascara, and there's something about the formula and the brush that don't work well together. The formula doesn't get on the brush very nicely, and then it doesn't apply to the lashes very nicely. So I don't recommend this. CoverGirl has a ton of great mascaras. This just felt like a little bit of a mess. So those are all of the products I wanted to talk about in today's video. I hope today's video was helpful for you guys if you were looking for some more finalized reviews of these products. If you want to see them in action, I did film a couple of videos using, I think, the majority of these. So I'll link some related videos in the description box below for you guys. If you have tried any of these products, I would love to hear what you think. Whether you love them or hate them, let me know in the comment section below. And I will definitely be reviewing a lot more drugstore makeup for you guys as we head into 2022. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys very soon with a new video. Bye.